It can be difficult for teenage boys to wrap their heads around confusing court cases, so in this video, we have converted the court cases into arguments between parents and children, where the dad represents Chief Justice John Marshall, and the mom is the federal government. Due to Marshall's background as a Federalist, he almost always sided with the federal government, because Federalists wanted a strong central government. We will represent this affinity by showing the dad always agreeing with the mom's decisions, and the older brother usually representing the state government in our video. Whatever your mom says, these court cases were very important in shaping the judicial branch's power for the rest of the American history and increasing federal power. Without these court cases, many things about our government that you take for granted would not be in place. Please sit back and enjoy the presentation. In Martin v. Hunter's lessee, Denny Martin/Denny Fairfax, an English loyalist, was left land in Virginia by his uncle, Thomas Fairfax. Virginia's government had laws against loyalists inheriting land, so they wanted to seize it and give it to David Hunter. The federal government, on the other hand, wanted to give it back to Martin. We will represent this by having two brothers argue over who gets their sister Virginia's room when she leaves for college. The sister will represent Virginia's state government, who wants to leave it for Hunter, and the mom will represent the federal government, who wants Martin to have it.
So sis is off to college, huh?
Yeah, pretty crazy. Can't wait to get her room, though.
What the hell? I thought I was supposed to get a room.
Virginia promised that I would get her room.
What? Mom promised that I would get her room specifically.
Well, here she comes now. Hey, sis, you said I would get your room, right?
Yep. What? How come?
Because you like England so much.
What? This is BS. Mom!
Yes.
You said I would get Virginia's room, right?
Precisely.
See?
But no, I'm telling Dad. Dad!
Yes, sport.
Virginia said that I would get her room, but Mom said that Martin would, so I get it, right?
Whatever your mom says.
Fine.
This case tackled the issue of if the federal government had supremacy over state court decisions. Because of the supremacy clause, they do, and we showed this by having the dad, John Marshall, agree with the mom. The reason this case was important was because if the Supreme Court had not agreed on this, then state courts would have just as much power as the Supreme Court, and the judicial branch would lose much of its power to combat corruption or the other branches of government. In McCulloch v. Maryland, the federal government was establishing the Second National Bank of the United States. When they put the new branches of the bank in each state, Maryland tried to tax the bank, but the federal government did not pay the taxes. Maryland accused the national bank as being unconstitutional, so they went to court. In this skit, Mary represents Maryland, and the washer and dryer represents the new branch of the bank. The mom is the federal government, and the dad is, of course, John Marshall.
Whew, that was a long day. What the heck is going on here?
What's up?
Why the heck's the washer dryer in my closet, Mom?
We needed them, and that was the only space I could find.
This is so unfair. You never told me you could do that. Dad?
Yes, what's going on?
Mom just put the washer and dryer in my room, and she didn't tell me she was going to.
Just because she didn't tell you doesn't mean she can't. She is your mother and has the right to make whatever changes she sees fit in order to be a good mother and have control of this home.
Fine, but you're gonna have to pay me to keep it in my room.
That's not gonna happen. This is my house and my room to do what I want with. I saw it as necessary to have the washer and dryer in here, and that's where it's gonna be. Dad!
Whatever your mom says, sport. Whatever she says.
This case finally agreed on the issue of if a national bank was unconstitutional. In the end, the Supreme Court unanimously agreed that due to the elastic cause, it was because they deemed a national bank as being necessary and proper. Because of this, the states could not tax a federal instrument if it was used to execute constitutional powers. This case was so important because a national bank is extremely helpful in maintaining efficient control of the economy using a universal banknote. So if they had not agreed, the national bank might not be where it is today. In Gibbons v. Ogden, Robert Fulton's monopoly over steam-powered boats was giving New York too much power over interstate commerce. Ogden and Gibbons were two competing traders. Gibbons was backed by the federal government and Ogden by New York's government. New York told Gibbons that he was not allowed to trade on the same channels anymore, and in return, he sued Ogden and went to the Supreme Court. Gibbons and Ogden will be played by two brothers. Ogden, the older brother, will also represent the New York state government, and the trading control will be represented by car privileges.
What's up?
Yo, Gib, what's going on?
I was just going to pick up some groceries.
With what car?
Yours, duh.
No.
Mom just said that I could.
Yeah, but I said that you can't, and it's my car.
Mom!
Yes.
Ogden won't let me use his car.
Well, I say you can, so go ahead.
No, it's my car.
Well, who bought it, son? Your brother has his license now, so he can use your car.
Dad!
Yes.
Mom said that I have to let Gib use my car, even though you guys told me it was my car.
We need optimal grocery scheduling so she gets to control the car that drives to get them.
But that's so unfair.
Well, she's your mother. Whatever she says is what will happen. Remember, your mom just wants the best for you, and if she has to take things into her hands to get it, then that's what must happen.
This case tackled the issue of who controlled interstate commerce. In the end, Marshall held up the powers of the Constitution and made sure the federal government controlled interstate commerce. This case mattered because if they had not done this, it would have been a sign that the other states could do the same thing, and the situation would turn into how it was under the Articles of Confederation, where the states became enemies and unity destroyed. All these arguments are significant in building control in the House. The mom, representing the federal government, has a whole house in mind, so gets to make the decisions and take control, while the older child represents the state government, who only really cares about itself. This is a good showcase of America in the time of John Marshall. It's not perfect, as there are many things that can go into decisions about a country and state compared to a house and kids' choices. However, these arguments show the general idea of what was happening at the time. You can see why these court cases significantly established the power of the federal government, and that all of them were working towards that in one way or another. That is all for today, and thank you for watching.